On his way back from Yardrat, Goku encountered the Big Gete Star, or rather, what would eventually become the Big Gete Star. Now grappling with how it acts in his body, how is Goku going to control Gete from here on out? We'll be covering all that and more in the second part of What If Goku Merged with the Big Gete Star. Goku meets up with everyone at the lab, and they all sense the fight, so he explains what happened. The good thing is with them finding the lab, they're able to make a remote that deactivates the androids, and now that Goku fought Cell, they search the lab a little more and they find Present Cell, being sure to destroy him. But after hearing about what happened with Goku, they're pretty concerned. Goku thinks it's not going to be a big problem, and Krillin asks if maybe he can remove that chip with the Dragon Balls. You know, that is a good point. Normally Goku would be curious about the power of something like this, but since this is taking over his body, he's not too fond of it. Sure, he wants to see what it's capable of, but it's a little bit risky to use his body for that. Although, something weird happens. Goku then completely changes his opinion. He says he wants to keep this as part of him. He's not going to use the Dragon Balls to remove it. At the moment, Gete temporarily has a little bit more control over Goku. Because Goku did temporarily die there, that's how Gete was able to activate itself. Gete was able to take over here, wiping that little bit from Goku's memory so he doesn't think to use the Dragon Balls, and make sure that none of his friends use the Dragon Balls. It can't really do much more than that right now. It would love to take over Goku's body or jump to someone else. It actually had considered jumping to Cell, but Gete decided to stick with Goku a little bit longer because of how interesting his power could be. Goku's apparently one of the greatest warriors in the universe. Like, look at Cell for example. He was made partially from Goku's cells. And of course Gete has access to all of Goku's memories. So it's going to stick with Goku for a little bit longer. Although, Gete doesn't realize that there's not going to be an opportunity for it to jump to anywhere else. Because now we enter the 7-year time skip, which is pretty peaceful. Goku rapidly develops over this time. Of course he continues training even more. And he tries to learn how to use the power of Gete for himself. He fights with Vegeta a bunch over this time too, and he tries to get Gohan to train a little bit more. Trunks has already returned home, and with the remote, he stopped the androids. And obviously no one went into the time chamber. Not even a year after Trunks left, he's able to get Super Saiyan 2 for himself. Eventually Vegeta gets it, and then Gohan gets it a little further down the line. But right before the end of this time skip, Goku also gets Super Saiyan 3 for himself. One side effect of having Gete as part of him is the fact that he grows a lot more rapidly. So much so that I think it would make up for the fact that he's not dead, so even without training 24/7, he's still able to get Super Saiyan 3 for himself. And of course, at the end of this time skip, we get to the World Tournament right before the Buu Saga happens. Everything about the Saiyan stuff and the tournament starts pretty normal, so let's get forward to when they actually get to Babidi's ship. Specifically, at the point when Vegeta is supposed to get taken over by Babidi. Gohan is still going to struggle with his fight against Dabura, because even with Goku being around and encouraging him to train more, it's not going to make him considerably stronger, and besides having a better control in Super Saiyan 2 because he's not completely rusty, technically speaking I think he would be a better fighter, but physically speaking he would be weaker. Point being, he can't defeat Dabura, and then Dabura goes back to Babidi and suggests taking over someone's mind. Vegeta is an option, but as Babidi looks into his heart and mind, he sees that Vegeta is not going to be very vulnerable to this. He's had his fights against Goku. He's not going to have any sort of ill will that makes him want to actually get taken over here. But then he notices Goku himself. There's something weird about him. Analyzing him, he finds out that Goku's actually partially mechanical. It's a very small part of him, just something in his brain. But also, there's something weird surging through his veins. Gete did absorb some of Cell's power. So, Goku has a little bit of Frieza, King Cold, and of course Cell running through him. By now it's very minute. Pretty much all of it has been filtered out, but Babidi wants to try something. His heart's completely pure, but those little parts of him might be a good catalyst for Babidi. But also there's Gete. And you might also think Babidi's spell doesn't work on artificial beings, but actually in Dragon Ball Heroes it did. Android 13 and Hachiyak become Majin in Dragon Ball Heroes, so I guess somehow it works on things that are just purely mechanical. It is a long shot, but Babidi tries this out. And Goku hears a weird voice talking in his head. He actually hasn't spoken with Gete in a while, but he knows this isn't Gete's voice. Something's trying to enter his brain. And then his ki flares up. Gohan and Vegeta sense it, and it's weird. They sense Frieza and King Cold, and what they don't realize is that Cell's a part of this too. But they just think they're sensing their friends. It's very minute, but enough of it is there that they can feel it. It disappears, and Goku's ki flares up even more, and it's just his own now. Goku struggles for control, as Gete then tries to take control, working alongside Babidi. And Babidi sees what's happening now. There's some evil being within Goku, and if Babidi can just completely turn off Goku's mind for a little bit, that evil part should be able to take over. So that's what Babidi does, and Gete completely takes control, and of course, getting a boost from Babidi as well. Goku's now in Super Saiyan 2. Still not at his full strength, but in this form he feels stronger than normal. They see a very different look on his face. His eyes are red, and he has an M on his forehead. This is Majin Goku, or rather, Majin Gete. Right now, Goku is completely unconscious, not able to control his body. He's essentially in a coma right now. Gete has fully commandeered his body, and he takes a moment to get used to this. It took a while, but that was worth it. And now he can go forward with his plans of actually making the Big Gete Star a thing. But first he'll test out his power. Babidi then teleports all of them to the World Tournament. Vegeta and Gohan don't know what's happening, of course, and Shin has to fill them in. But they only know about the Babidi part. They don't know why Goku's calling himself Gete. So they have to explain to Shin and Kibito what happened with Goku. Gete's been dormant for so long that they didn't think it would be an issue anymore. But now, they have this. And Gete's not fighting the others because of Babidi, he's fighting the others because, well, he wants to fight. And he knows that this is going to revive Boo, but that's a bonus. And Babidi's very pleased. He can get more than enough energy from this. Although, this guy seems stronger than he expected. And he wonders if it would be strong enough for even Boo. That does concern him a bit, but there's no way that Boo could be defeated. Babidi's pretty confident. Gohan and Vegeta lead Gete Goku away from the tournament, and he follows along, and Vegeta is the first one to fight. He doesn't really stand a chance against Goku. Even though he's just in Super Saiyan 2 right now, which Vegeta has for himself, Goku was stronger to begin with, and now, with the Majin Boost, he's even stronger. And with Gete fully commandeering his body, he instantly adapts to everything Vegeta's capable of. Not to mention, full access to regeneration. And Gete tries to make use of this too, because if Goku somehow does regain control, that will be an issue. He's going to need to build himself a completely artificial body, that way he can get complete freedom. But for now he fights like this. And he does consider hopping to another body, but this should be fine. As long as he creates a mechanical clone of himself, he'll be good. He's going to start creating the actual Big Gete Star. So, amidst the battle, he places a hand on the ground, creating a clone of himself basically just from the dirt and rock below him. But this is a good enough start. He sends that clone out. Gohan and Vegeta go to attack the clone, but Gete Goku stops them. That clone is actually going to start the construction process of the Big Gete Star. But as their fight continues, they then sense another huge surge of power. Boo has been awoken, and Gete's attention is redirected. Good, he was waiting for that. He flies back to Babidi's ship, and the other two chase him, but Shin tells them to wait. If Boo's revived, they need some sort of other plan, especially because they're dealing with two enemies here now. Plus, Shin isn't really too sure because he hasn't seen Boo in a while. But based on what he was feeling from Gete Goku, he thinks that maybe the two of them are equal. So if they can't defeat Gete Goku, they're definitely not defeating Boo. Plus, Gete still didn't break out Super Saiyan 3 yet. Shin and Kibito teleport Vegeta and Gohan to the Sacred World of Kai. Shin thinks that they should train with the Z-Sword, so they're going to try and pull that. Once the others leave, Gete Goku just teleports over there. He stayed back a little bit just to watch the Kais, and they didn't do anything interesting besides the Kai Kai, which maybe he could try and pick up on. It seems like a better instant transmission. And just as he arrives, Boo kills Dabra, but Gete jumps right into the fight. And he drags it out a bit, just watching what Boo's capable of, copying all of it along the way. This will make for some great data. He thinks the two of them could fight endlessly, although if he breaks out Super Saiyan 3 and goes full power, he could easily kill Boo. But right now they're just about equal, and the more they fight, the more he could steal from Boo. And amidst their battle he even learns the Candy Beam, testing it out on Babidi, and it works. He turns Babidi into a piece of candy and eats him, then getting his abilities too. This is great. And all the while the Big Gete Star is being constructed. All the power is in this main body right now, but that other clone of him is making really quick work. So Gete continues fighting Boo. A couple hours pass, and on the Sacred World of Kai, eventually the Z-Sword is pulled by Vegeta. He did try training with it, but eventually ended up breaking it. This freed Elder Kai from the sword, and after he heard about what's happening on Earth, he wants to lend a hand. Since they're dealing with two enemies here, he thinks maybe it would be best for them to fuse. They could use the ultimate ritual, but they won't have enough time for that. They can't really sit back for 24 hours and wait for it to happen. Fusion on the other hand should be a good option, although it's probably going to be permanent for them. Gohan and Vegeta aren't too sure how to feel about that. Well, maybe they could just use it as a last resort. But the way things are going, they might actually have to try this out. Elder Kai's ritual sounds good, but they don't know where to get that ritual done in time. But then Gohan has an idea. After the events with the androids, Goku did briefly take Gohan up to the lookout just to see what Kami had to say about him, because maybe there was some training Kami could do for Gohan, and Gohan learned about the Room of Spirit and Time, so maybe they can get Elder Kai's ritual done. If it only takes a day, then in the time chamber that's only going to be a few minutes. So they decide to do that, teleporting to the lookout and going into that room. Gete continues fighting Boo, but now he's kind of bored, powering up into Super Saiyan 3 and finishing the battle. He's gathered all the data that he needs, and he is sure to collect a sample of Boo just to take it for himself. Boo then ends up regenerating from it, but that doesn't matter. By the time Boo regenerates, he's in the core of the Big Gete Star, basically acting as a battery for it. Right now it's pretty small in comparison to what the Big Gete Star should be. It's only about the size of a normal building, but with each minute that passes it grows larger and larger, getting more and more material. Soon the whole Earth will be absorbed, and just for good measure, Gete drops off Goku's body into the core too, then taking on a purely mechanical form, still taking on the shape of Goku though. But not long after this, Gohan and Vegeta then appear here, both with their newly awakened ultimate forms. They try destroying the Big Gete Star from the outside, and it does work. It starts to collapse, but as they get closer to the core, it's more and more durable. And then they encounter what looks to be a mechanical version of Goku, quickly destroying it, but another one pops up in its place. Gete commends them. They definitely have grown stronger because that clone of him, that was still stronger than them from before. How did they get so strong so quickly? The two of them fight through a horde of metal Gokus. This isn't really ideal for Gete because he's using a lot of material to create more of the Gokus. So the Big Gete Star itself isn't really expanding much, but every time a Goku's defeated, it develops from it. Although pretty quickly, Gohan and Vegeta are able to make their way to the core, and they see Goku there in the core, as well as what looks to be Majin Buu. Right now, Gete's stripping both of them of all their power. From Buu, he actually noticed that there was two parts of him essentially. There were two good Kais inside of him, and then there's Kid Buu, the original Buu. So he absorbed the power of what essentially was Kid Buu before, getting a lot stronger from it, leaving behind Good Buu and the two Kais inside of him as another battery for himself. Meanwhile, Goku's just Goku, and actually he's back to normal. The chip has been removed from him, now controlling the core. The issue is he's unconscious and can't really fight back. He's still basically in a coma. But the core then captures Vegeta and Gohan, trying to absorb power from them. But the two of them see this as an opportunity, eventually realizing that they could just overload the core with a bunch of energy and defeat it that way. Thankfully, Gete hasn't seen the true extent of their new power just yet, so they power up to their maximum. And Gete can't take in all the energy at once. Gete has adapted a lot over the years, so the threshold for the energy it can handle should be larger than normal. But still, getting this much all at once, completely unexpected, that causes the core to be destroyed. Plus, without much material, the Big Gete Star hasn't reached its full potential just yet. The core collapses and so does everything around it, and Gohan and Vegeta are sure to destroy every remain of it. Only two things are left behind: Goku and Majin Buu. They get ready to destroy Buu, but then Goku wakes up, and he tells them not to. It was kind of weird. While he was part of that core, despite being unconscious, he still was part of a hive mind essentially, and with that, he got to see what Buu was like. The version of Buu that was left behind isn't evil, and then Buu eventually wakes up too. Having essentially shared a mind with Goku before, Buu doesn't view him as an enemy right now. Plus, he's completely aware of what happened. When being part of Gete's hive mind, all that data went to his mind as well. And Goku thanks them for intervening, although he does wonder how they got that strong so quickly. Either way, he hopes to see more of it. So, now Gete's completely gone. That means this what if is over, right? Well, no. Gete has a contingency plan, of course. One of the metal Gokus got sent out into space just in case. Gete is incredibly disappointed, but this is to be expected. Gete thought he could take over Earth right now, but that might have to wait. At least it still gathered a lot of data, and even with a lack of materials, it still has a good amount of things to work with. And without a proper vessel, he's not really that strong right now. This metal Goku vessel isn't really that great. But with enough time and enough materials, Gete can come back stronger than before. But until that time comes, Gete will have to wait patiently. And with that, we'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me you want to see more like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.